Guys,
Morning.
how are you?
How are you? You.
Great.
Did you miss us?
Yeah, I think I did. We'll find out in a second. Karen?
Mike, you played Buffalo last week 5, I believe, and how much has changed since then, or is that film for that game still viable for you?
Well, I mean, I think it's always viable. There's a lot that's changed. I mean, but I think you can kind of see some of the, play styles, matchups, things that they may come back to, or things that we need to be more prepared for, and then, kind of use that as a place to kind of go from. And then, again, some of the things that they've done really well, I'm sure they'll continue to do and add wrinkles, and, it's a great challenge.
Like you emphasize or bring up a hat and t-shirt game this week for your team?
No, I don't use the hat and t-shirt. Like, we're just trying to play for the championship that we have available this week. Man, I think it's a great testament to our players that have put us in this position to be able to do that. And again, it's not going to be easy. This is a very good football team. There's a reason that they've won this division 5 years in a row. A lot of respect for them. They're never out of it, never down. They may be down, and just like last week, it's a football team that understands that, somebody's going to make a play, and then the quarterback is going to give them a chance to the very end.
You're 6-0 as a head coach coming off the bye, with the understanding that it's different years, different teams, different opponents, all that. Are there any sort of commonalities when it comes to player focus?
Well, I think that, these guys have played well, and, that's the most important thing, is focusing on what we can realistically try to improve and kind of enhance the stuff that we've been doing okay with, which we'll try to do today. And, I know these guys got some rest, much needed rest, and, but we got to crank this thing back up.
Mike, it's in the bye so late in the year. Do you learn just a little bit about yourself as a self-scout, or is there things that you look back on and say, maybe we got to lean into this more?
I think you kind of know by the way that the season's going, but, it's always a good time to take a look at, what you've done and what they're looking at analytically, and try to, figure some of that out, and or just say, hey, we're this is a staple of who we are, and this is what we're going to do, and, try to be good at it.
Like you mentioned before the bye that you're expecting some players back after this week. Do you have any injury updates on specific players?
Yeah, some of those guys may practice today. I think for sure Wednesday. Some of those guys that weren't available, and we'll kind of just see where they're at today. But I think we'll be okay come Wednesday.
Why did teams relied on a lot of rookies this year? What went right in the pre-draft process that brought in a solid group?
I think we'll get into player evaluation and scouting and principles and all that stuff later. I think you have to rely on young guys that you draft. Hopefully you can develop them and have them ready. Some of them have played a larger role than others, and some of them were kind of coming on, and that they understand their role, that they have confidence and continue to improve. I think by and large the group has done that. We'll need a lot more from them as we move on, as we continue, especially this week. And then we can talk about how we target players and things like that later.
Mike, your experience as a player and a coach, red zone offense. What are some of the common threads you've seen over the years that make a successful red zone offense, other than obvious scoring touchdowns? Like what is it?
Well, you have to have positive plays. You can't go backwards. You can't have penalties that derail drives. Precision is critical. Precision is critical. That space is limited. Things happen so much quicker down there. So we'll have to score and turn those opportunities into touchdowns, and we'll have to do a better job defensively when they do get down there.
Like when Drake was first drafted, there's a lot of comparisons made to Josh Allen. Now that things have kind of played out a bit, do you see them being more similar or dissimilar in how they approach the game?
I think they're both really good at what they do. Josh probably got a couple LBs on him and can kind of throw his shoulder in there probably a little bit more than I would rather want Drake to. But I think they're both great competitors. I think they're, a lot of respect for Josh and just his ability to make something out of nothing. I've enjoyed watching Drake's growth here. But I'm not going to say one's a certain way and one's the other. Huge challenge going against a quarterback that's under control. He's got command and he doesn't look panicked or rattled. And when you rush him or gets him into the right play call and whatever that may be, just a excellent, obviously MVP quarterback.
It's Mike, you guys are playing for a division championship this weekend. I'm curious though. You referred to your players, both with us and then with them after the game on Monday, as champions, or you competed like champions. Champions are never satisfied. Why use that word when referring to your team?
I think you're probably just reading too much into it. You guys got too much time since the last time we talked. I don't know. I apologize. I could call them something else, but then you guys would yell at me for using that language.
Entertaining.
Like, this is a bit of a weird one, but coming out of the bye, doing something kind of league-wide on the trend of teams posting after a win, the head coach's locker room thing. Since you first became
a lot of pressure.
Right? Legitimately, has it changed your mindset at all, like going in there, knowing that fans are going to see everything you do and say?
Well, they don't. I mean, I get the final say on that. You know what I mean? Like, Stretch can edit that to make it look as good as we want. No, I think here's what I do. I think that our content team does a fantastic job, and the content teams across the league to bring our fans really great access, something that's inside the locker room as quickly as they can get that turned around. And so I appreciate what they do. I think it's fantastic. I don't give it much thought. Until I need to start thinking about it because I don't want to, look ridiculous. I'm glad that they've given me plenty of opportunities to have some excitement in there. That's what I appreciate the most is from the players giving us an opportunity, and then the content team to continue to deliver really authentic content to our fans.
Do you watch any other coaches and how they do it?
No, I mean, I'm not taking my shirt off. I can promise you that.
You practice in your office or anything like that?
Nope, I didn't. I've not practiced in the office.
Mike, some coaches might not care if the fans have access to that kind of stuff. Why is it important to you for the fans to have a coach?
Oh, I mean, this is, we're in the entertainment business. It's a large part of what we do. I think that's important that our fans have some connection to our team to be able to come out here to training camp starting, in July. I think that's important. I think it's important that our fans can come into the stadium and watch a scrimmage. I think it's important that, again, they have things to cheer about on Sundays and when we play. I think it's important that they see our players in the community, that not only as players, but men trying to make a difference and trying to make an impact and help. So the more that we can do and the more that we can share with our fans, the better.
Said last week that the strength of the wide receiver unit is the unit. Why is it so important to spread the ball around defense?
I think just, so that they can't sit there and key on one guy or say, this is where it's going. And I think that's the kind of the way that the group is built. And if, some other years it may be different, but that's what it is this year. And that's what I think is best for us. And that's kind of what it's proven to be.
Just on those locker room moments, I've heard you differentiate between motivate and inspire, and your job is really the latter, not the former. Are those moments where you can inspire guys, or does that happen at a different time?
I don't know if that's very inspiring. I'm sure they're looking to get a shower and get the hell out of there. I would imagine that they want that short and sweet. At least I would always want that. That game day is a long day. Starts early, especially the night games. I try to, there's some things I say to them before and leading up to the game, and if that plays out and it plays true, then I try to remind them and thank them for understanding what it is we were trying to get done.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Wednesday.